Hey everyone, and thank you most sincerely for joining us once again as we continue the Justice for Aaron Brady campaign. Now, most of you will be aware we are critiquing a Crime World podcast that was created by Nicola Tallant and Neil Donald, and that podcast was obviously in relation to Aaron, the trial, and Aaron's conviction. We have created a number of videos in response to this piece of work by these two journalists, and we will continue to do so. So we are at the stage where we have looked at how Donald in particular was trying to brush over the two witnesses who give testimony from America to the court in Dublin and their involvement in Aaron's trial. And we say quite categorically that these people simply brushed over vital information and give no opinion whatsoever as to how this part of the trial was conducted. So obviously we've looked at Molly Staunton, and now we created a video in direct response to what Tallant and Donald said in respect of Daniel Cahill. So it would be remiss of us if we didn't follow up on the information we give in response to what Donald and Tallant have said. Because if we don't do that, we're as bad as they are, just spewing information without giving any detailed facts or vital information. So to that end, we are going to re-show some videos that we have released before. I think the video that's coming this evening is from November 2022. And I think it will show obviously the serious issues with Daniel Cahill and the three instances in which he said Aaron Brady made some form of admission to him in relation to the murder of Detective Garda Adrian Donoghue. Albeit no one else heard these things, or there was no one else to corroborate what Mr. Cahill said. But notwithstanding that, it also shows that our campaign has been continuous, and all this information has been out there for over 2 years, and no one has yet to contradict what we said. These two journalists may very well have tried to belittle Aaron's campaign, but they most certainly did not contradict any information we have given in nearly 170 videos. So what we're going to do this evening, please have a look at this video. It's in relation to Daniel Cahill, and it gives more detail about what we say his credibility. And indeed, he has no credibility to be a witness for the state in a capital murder trial. So please have a look at this video. Thank you. Thank you for joining us once again as we continue our Justice for Aaron Brady campaign. Before we go into this evening's video, we the Brady family would like to say a sincere thank you to all those people who have sent messages of support. Thank you so much for sharing, liking and commenting on all our videos, and big thank you to all those people who have subscribed to Aaron's YouTube channel. And again, we continue to ask people, please subscribe, because it does help the algorithms in relation to getting Aaron's story out there. So once again, thank you so much for doing that, and please continue to follow Aaron's story. As we move on to this evening's video, we're scrutinising the Making of a Detective podcast, and it's episode number 12. And in this evening's video, we're going to look at the podcast gives us some details about Daniel Cahill's alleged interactions with Aaron, and how Aaron allegedly said to Daniel Cahill on these occasions that he had shot a cop or he had shot someone. So we're going to have a little look at those, scrutinise the information given, and we'll have scrutinise obviously the actual facts behind what Daniel Cahill has said. So we'll listen to the first clip for this evening's video.
Daniel Cahill, Brady's local barman, has since been described as the most significant witness in this historic trial. On the 25th of July 2019, after speaking to the Homeland Security officers who'd knocked at his door, he was brought to a local police station and questioned. Cahill was unique to the trial and to the prosecution. Aaron Brady had infamously loose lips once under the influence of alcohol, and Cahill had the misfortune of getting a front row seat to his antics while trying to get on with his workday. The jury were told how Cahill heard Brady vocalise how he'd murdered Adrian Donoghue not once, but 3 times in total. An incident happened after Brady was involved in a ruckus while standing at the bar of the Coachman's Inn. He took a box to the face and suffered a gash that was bleeding heavily. Daniel Cahill followed him in to the bathroom of the Coachman's Inn to check what had happened. He tried to see if Brady was okay or if he was in need of assistance. But he wasn't listening. He was furious. He couldn't believe someone would cross Ireland's most feared man. Cahill told the court that Brady said he should have known better as he'd shot an Irish cop, and it would be stupid to get involved or mess with a man like Aaron Brady.
At the beginning of the clip, it is mentioned again that Daniel Cahill is the most significant witness in Aaron Brady's case, and that has been mentioned on numerous occasions, stating that Daniel Cahill has been the main reason that Aaron Brady has been convicted for the murder of Detective Garda Adrian Donoghue. And then it goes on to detail, and Mr. Doyle gives us some information about what Daniel Cahill said in relation to an incident in the Coachman's. So basically what Daniel Cahill is saying is there was an altercation at the pool table, which actually did happen. Now this incident did take place. There was a number of people playing pool. There was a young chap over from County Down, and he was being some way intimidated and irritated by another young man. Aaron asked the young man to leave the young chap alone, and Aaron was struck over the eye. And Daniel Cahill's story then is that he spent a period of time in the bathroom with Aaron while Aaron was cleaning up the cut over his eye. Now there's a number of very, very serious issues here. Daniel Cahill says in his testimony that he spent 15 to 20 minutes in the bathroom with Aaron. He got confused when he was given his testimony. Now Daniel Cahill initially, let's look at the logistics of this. Daniel Cahill was on his own in the Coachman's that day. He was the only barman, and he wants us to believe that he left the bar unattended for 20 minutes while he was looking after someone in the bathroom that was after getting struck over the eye. That's the first thing. So he's telling lies about that. But the other people who were there that day state very clearly exactly what happened. The altercation took place. A young chap called Shane struck Aaron over the eye. Daniel Cahill escorted Shane out of the premises, out of the Coachman's. Aaron Brady did go into the bathroom, but on the recollection of those that were there that day, Aaron Brady left almost immediately and didn't stay any more than a minute or two in the bathroom. So this first story here that's told by Daniel Cahill is simply a tissue of lies. He took an incident that happened in the bar that he seen, and he did witness Aaron in the altercation, and then just added to it. It simply never happened. Aaron Brady never said those words to Daniel Cahill in the bathroom of the Coachman's bar. Now we're going to listen to 2 more incidents that Daniel Cahill said during the course of his testimony, and Ian Doyle gives us a breakdown of those, and we'll have a quick look at those now too. We'll listen to them first.
Time that Brady had alluded to the shooting to Cahill. In 2014, he was drunk sitting at the bar, visibly down. Him and Cahill chatted about life, as Brady lamented about things in his life coming back at him. A robbery gone wrong, where he'd shot a guard in the process. This was in 2014, when the 2 men weren't as well acquainted, as Brady was new in the neighbourhood. Cahill wasn't sure if it was just pub talk. Another hard man trying to make a name for himself. At the time, he hadn't paid much interest in the comment.
As with the previous clip we heard, Obviously, Daniel Cahill says he was on his own with Aaron Brady and no one else could hear what was said. And in this case here, he's saying Aaron was sitting crying into a pint, lamenting about life at the bar in the Coachman's. Now, initially, he did have someone sitting quite close to Aaron in the bar, but during the course of his testimony and later on in statements taken by the detectives in New York, the distance between Aaron and the second person in the bar seemed to elongate. So once again, we're saying quite clearly this is a made-up story. And I think anyone that knows Aaron or anyone has had any interaction with them, and I have said to Mr. Doyle and Mr. Breen, who I don't believe attended any of the trial, they may have been there 1 or 2 days, but if they speak with Robin Schiller, journalist, or Owen Reynolds, journalist, they would be able to confirm that Aaron Brady's demeanour couldn't be any further from what is described there. So there has to be a little bit of continuity. There has to be some sort of realism to what is being told by Daniel Cahill and what is being peddled here by Ian Doyle. And once again, we are saying categorically to Daniel Cahill that incident never took place. Aaron Brady never cried into his pint about killing a cop. And it sort of falls into a situation here too. We could go into a lot of detail on this, but Daniel Cahill tried to tell us that he actually, during the course of his testimony, that he didn't know about the death of Detective Guard Adrian Donoghue. And again, we would say that is lies, because here's a picture of Daniel Cahill sitting with Dean Evans, and this is just 2 weeks. This picture is in Dublin, and it's 2 weeks after Detective Guard Adrian Donoghue was shot, and it's 3 weeks before Daniel Cahill's friend Dean Evans shot Peter Butterly. So we're looking at those circle of people that Daniel Cahill was involved in. Although, he denied his involvement with these people, he denied their friendship. But there's it there for everyone to see. So he's trying to say he didn't know about the murder of Detective Guard Adrian Donoghue. And we say, again, it's simply a tissue of lies. We listen now to the third clip.
On a third occasion, in 2015, customers of the Coachman's Inn invited the bartender back to a party as his shift was finishing. As Cahill entered the residence, he came across what he described in court as a pissing contest between Brady and 2 others, all trying to outdo each other. It's hard to wrap your head around how many people Aaron Brady was happy to let his secret slip to. Some friends are one thing, but a local barman is another.
So this is the third occasion where Daniel Cahill says Aaron admitted to shooting a cop or shooting someone. And in this scenario, he says there was some sort of a contest between Aaron and the person, Matthew, who owned the apartment. Now, Daniel Cahill does say some disparaging things about Matthew, about what Matthew was saying also. But Matthew never was able to clarify whether this ever happened or not. And we are saying quite categorically, Aaron has told us, Aaron was never in Matthew's apartment with or without Daniel Cahill. That is simply a falsehood, and it never ever happened. And again, we have a situation where there's no one to substantiate what Cahill is saying here. And once again, we can see how Cahill has taken some sort of a situation, elaborated on it, and added to the story to create a false narrative. And we also have a situation where Daniel Cahill, for some reason, told in his testimony, in his statement, that he had told a number of guards who were visiting a pub in New York on St. Patrick's Day that he knew who had shot and murdered Detective Guard Adrian Donoghue. Now, I'm certain, if any guard, I don't care how much drink they have in them, and enjoying their weekend away. If a barman tells you, I know who shot your colleague, he's here in America, there would have been a team from Ireland over the next morning. So this is the sort of character we're dealing with here. And once again, we will say, if Daniel Cahill or anyone else had the truth to say, and Aaron did say some of these things, that's fine, we can understand that, and it's right and proper that people come forward. But we have a man dragged out of an attic who should have been deported. He shouldn't have been taken to the precinct for an interview. He should have been taken to the detention centre and ready for deportation. So the whole thing stinks to high heaven, and none of this is mentioned by Doyle or Breen or the Irish Sun. How can that be the whole story? How can that be any form of completedness in any form of journalism? It simply makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And we really, really need you, the public, to call out these people on this narrative. And we'll ask you once again, please make contact with your local representatives. Just ask them to look at the case. And again, we're not asking you, the public, to make a judgment on innocence or guilt. But what we really do need you, the public, to do is to ask the question, is the whole story being shown here? There are some serious issues. And if any of what the Brady campaign is saying, any of this is right, Aaron Brady's conviction is totally unsafe. So we really do need you, the public, to interact with our social media sites and to interact with those people in positions of power, to just ask questions. And we'll see when the whole story is unveiled what the outcome is then. Once again, a big thank you to everyone who's interacting with our social media pages. Please continue to like, comment and share, and please pop over and hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel. And we'll be back again. We have some more scrutiny to do at the final part of Making the Detective 12. Thank you.